You're listening to Edging the Truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another episode of Two Steps from the Edge, a podcast presented by Edging the Truth. This is episode faux, dog. It is me, it's Fudge, Andy, along with my good buddy Dave, or as I like to call him, Fred Raspus, Red Raspus, Red, whatever you want. Musician extraordinaire, joins me on this edition of Two Steps from the Edge. So today we each have brought an article. We've brought something to the table, and we are excited to get into it. Before we do, I want to remind you one more time, please, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, hit that subscribe button, comment, tell a friend, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend, word of mouth.
Hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell. Turn those notifications on. Word of mouth is the best way for us to grow. Check out our merch. We just dropped a brand new shirt, our Shenanigan Drinking Song shirt. You've heard it on the show. Now have it on your back. Sizes up to 5XL, so even Brian can wear one. We've got something for everybody. Check out all the rest of our awesome merch as well. You can find that at edgingthetruth.com. It's got all of our links to episodes, social media, like I said, merch, bios about each one of us involved in the show, so much more. Speaking of our socials, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere at Edging the Truth. Please give us a follow. We would love to have you as part of our community. And we'd love your feedback too. We want to hear what you guys want to hear. We want to hear what you guys think about what you're hearing from us already as well. Let me tell you a little bit about what you're about to hear right now. What if I told you there was a certain car company that has put in a patent request or some, I don't know how, is that how you say it?
Yeah, patent application, I think.
Patent. Okay. So they want to patent a system that would let cars repossess themselves if drivers miss payments. This is Ford, by the way.
Yeah, I would have guessed Tesla. I mean, if you described that to me, I would have said, oh, that sounds like something Tesla would do.
So this has gone, pretty viral in the past, couple weeks since they've announced this. We all know the advancements that they are making in the automobile industry. I mean, I see this firsthand every day. This is what I do. I sell cars, not Fords, pieces of shit. But anyway, the people over at Ford, they're trying to patent this idea. So basically, we are moving closer and closer towards autonomous vehicles, self-driving vehicles. There already are some, that are in the market, a lot of hands-free driving, stuff like that. Essentially, what they're trying to get a patent on is to basically have in all of the cars in their lineup to have a setting on the autonomous driving. If the driver or the owner of the vehicle misses enough payments, that this thing will literally repossess itself. It will drive itself to an impound lot or drive itself to a location where it's easier for it to get towed to one. Or sometimes I saw even a junkyard. So this is crazy. As if
it's kind of crazy.
As if in this world already, in the year of our Lord 2023, Red Raspus, people already haven't fallen on enough hard times. Can you imagine, having a couple bad months in a row, missing a couple payments? It happens. And your car, you wake up and your car's just gone. You call the tow company. They're like, we didn't take it. Or I'll throw this out there. Imagine you're driving somewhere and it just fucking takes over and drives straight to the repo lot.
Or
I know
if
in the
you're
article
out
that
with
I
somebody.
read, I think it was on Snopes.com.
Yeah.
They said the people higher ups at Ford have said just because they're, applying for the patent doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be implementing it. They kind of just, obviously you want the rights to that kind of technology, especially because how these seedy banks and lenders would be all over some shit like that. So I don't know, Red, what are your thoughts on this? I guess this is just bizarre.
It is strange. I think the world of patents too is really interesting because it's not always about deploying it and using it yourself. While Ford has developed this technology and they've applied for a patent, and they've said we have no specific plans to deploy it. Well, let's say Tesla does, and they want to use this system. Well, guess what? Ford gets paid for the use of that patent, even if Ford doesn't deploy it. So I think I think there will be unscrupulous companies. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes something that maybe gets passed down from Ford to dealers, where dealers would then have the option of turning it on. I would think some dealers would not be necessarily that interested in it because they come from affluent places and they don't have a lot of people that miss payments. Maybe someplace that's a little less, the income is a little lower and people have a little tougher times. And this is an opportunity to get over, as a la war profiteering, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised, but I guess this is the reason I want to get back to owning a car from the 1970s that doesn't have a computer in it.
It seems like that might not be a bad idea. I guess here's my next question for you. Do you think this is ethical? Like, is this I don't know, something about that just feels so shady to me.
I think it is weird. And I think it sets a scary precedent for other kinds of things. What happens if you buy a computer on payments and your computer is now shut off because you missed payments?
Right.
Your phone? I mean, your phone doesn't become an unusable item if you don't pay for it. It just means you don't have phone service. What if it did turn your phone into a brick? That's scary. We rely on, whether it's cars or phones or computers, we rely on this shit to depend on it and then not know why it's been turned on. I mean, you would know, I guess. I would also assume you'd have to consent to this, or you'd have to be informed. They couldn't just sell you a car with this in it and not tell you that this was something that's possible.
Right.
By the way, can I just say you're repping that Oregon gear today, man?
Go Ducks, baby. I go Ducks. Growing up, they were my younger brother's dream school favorite team. So I also was given Oregon gear because I don't mind it. We went out to Eugene, I think in 2018. Saw the Ducks and Justin Herbert beat up on Bowling Green for a football game, but it was awesome. So yeah, I will root for the Ducks given the chance. But back to this topic. So Ford has said it's imagining the system as a solution to the issue behind on payments being uncooperative and attempting to impede the recession or repossession. An application, Ford describes the use of a repossession system computer that can facilitate the process, which starts out with some minor annoyances that would cause discomfort to the vehicle owner. If the driver ignores warnings about their missing payments, the process would begin with the computer disabling functionality of features like cruise control, GPS, air conditioning, and the radio. The computer could also prompt the car to start emitting incessant and unpleasant sound whenever the driver is there. This is wild. I think there are some people that, they would just deal with it for as long as, but they're like, well, I guess the air conditioning doesn't work now, but I still got to fucking get to work. Oh, the radio doesn't work, but I still have to fucking get where I need to be. I another funny thing that came, imagine you're just chilling outside, or maybe you're mowing your grass or something, and your car just fucking drives away when you're just staring at it what the fuck just happened? We've been talking about AI a lot on the show. This feels very AI-y to me. Fuck, they're gonna start stealing our cars now too.
Your car is gonna steal itself. That's what feels so weird. You're gonna just see your car driving away, and that I think the other part of this raises the question of, well, if it's a self-driving car and Ford can make it drive somewhere else, then couldn't somebody else do that too? Couldn't somebody hack this car to drive it away, to just steal it? That's going to happen eventually, I think. I'll take my gasoline, no computer car any day.
Right. So there's a big group, they're popular on TikTok called the Kia Boys, that have gone viral for the figuring out the like a super easy way to like break into and steal Kias, because there are certain Kias where if you like it's under the where the key goes in or something in the steering column where you can like flip up a panel and there's all you need is like any USB thing to turn car. So they're like
Wow.
there are insurance companies that aren't giving out insurance, won't do it on Kias because of the high rate of them getting stolen. They're one of the most stolen cars in America.
Yeah.
Another thing in this article, if the owner still doesn't act on the missing payments warning, the computer will really raise the stakes. The car may lock its owner out with some caveats. In one example scenario, the patent application said the computer might prompt a lockout during the weekends, only so as not to affect the owner's ability to work during the weekdays to earn money to make payments toward the vehicle. Alternatively, the car might define a geofence around the driver's home, and the person would only be able to use the car within those parameters. In some cases, driving could be further limited to certain days or even certain times of day, according to the filing. All right, now your car gets to fucking decide when you can leave. I don't like this at all.
Well, or who are you working that out with? Are you working that out with the dealer and saying, "Oh, I work on Fridays and Saturdays. Can you change the schedule so I can use my car on those days?"
Right.
Like this just all seems like a nightmare of management at some point. Somebody's going to have to be involved on a human level, and that person's going to get a lot of angry, pain in the ass phone calls that are not going to be fun to deal with.
Yeah, are these credit unions and lenders and banks, are they going to have to hire a whole new position where your job is solely just to oversee and you take those phone calls from angry customers? Like, what the fuck? Because after the deal is done and the paperwork's been finalized, the deal's been funded, it's not really the dealer's problem. It's on to the lender, and the bank is the one that will controls all that and has the power to repossess it from you. So I don't know if this is like what banks will adopt this. Is Ford going to have a fee for them to do this? I'm sure Ford has some type of self-lender or something like that, like under their own name. Like for example, there's Chrysler Capital, which is like a big one at my delership.
What about for leases?
Yeah, that's a good point. How does this work on leases? I mean, leases are essentially the same thing. For that, it's like, okay, I want a 48-month lease. I want 12,000 miles a year. So it's like, what if the person's getting close to that 12,000 miles? Like, will it not let them go over the 12,000? It'll cut it off and lock the car or do the sound. Like, that's my next question, Red. What is this annoying sound? Is it yeah, or like what's really gonna, or is it just a loud, like high pitched something that'll, I don't even know.
Can you imagine if you went out?
Guess on what kind of sound they could possibly.
Well, yeah. What if you went out to your car and fucking the horn started going off when you went to put the key in? Like it was like an alarm. Like how embarrassing would that be?
You're driving down the road,
it's going to be
hazards going off and you're just fucking the horn. Well,
it sounds awful.
I think we've hit enough on this, that this sounds awful. It's not really a conspiracy. I think it remains to be seen if the patent will get approved or not. This was something that Ford, they originally did this application in August 2021, but it was just published last week, I believe. So that's something to look out for in the world of, autonomous vehicles, AI, robotics, that kind of stuff, as a theme that has been on this show the past few weeks for sure, as in AI everywhere, everything all at once. Like our latest episode, which you should check out if you haven't seen that. Red, speaking of episodes of Edging the Truth, your topic has something to do with one of our most popular episodes that we've done on Edging the Truth. I'm excited to hear about it.
It's true. we're recording this on March 9th. On March 8th, 2014, that was the day that Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 went down. We did an episode on this, I think, episode 10 or 11. Very, early. It feels like
super early,
ages ago. And Netflix has decided to revisit this topic in honor of this anniversary. It debuted yesterday on Netflix. I think it's a 3-part series. I will share on the screen an article that was posted on USA Today. This is making, if it's on USA Today, it's it's everywhere. So there's a brand new documentary on Netflix, and this article on USA Today is nice because it sort of gives you a quick summary of the timeline and exactly what happened and when. We did discuss this in depth. And I think, as I recall, we were all kind of surprised that the end of this story is sort of a non-ending. They just stopped looking for it. They looked and looked, and they just decided we're not going to find it. And in our research of looking at stuff for our episode, and this was now well over 40 weeks ago, let's say, so almost a year ago, there were many accounts of people saying, we think we know where it is. We think we know why we weren't looking in the right place before. We think we know where it is now, but the government just decided. And I can't remember if it was the government or the airline or who was involved. I believe it was the government that's involved in finding that wreckage. And they just decided we're done. There were a lot of concerning details about a number of the people involved, from the pilot to the co-pilot to other people on in the staff. And there were concerns that there was maybe terrorism that was maybe disproved later. And all, it is definitely a strange story. Since this is something that we did spend some time researching, I certainly want to watch this series and hopefully see if they've maybe furthered some information since we first covered it. I don't know about you, but again, it was one of our more popular episodes. I think largely because not a lot of people have talked about it in depth. At least in the most recent few years, it kind of became a dead subject. And second of all, because we did talk about it a lot. And we talked about a lot of the ins and outs. From an episode perspective, I felt like we had a pretty good one. What do you think, Fudge? Is this something you're going to check out? I mean, we're Netflix bingers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm all in this doc. Like you said, we went in pretty deep. I feel like looking at it and the different theories was, there was. I think my favorite theory was, the pilot had caught his wife cheating or something, or he had just gotten a divorce, was super sad. He did, took off. And it was like, okay, why did they veer off to the left so hard? Like, it made their direction, the course made no sense. Oh, he knew what he was about to do. He was taking one last look at, his country or the city or whatever it was, and kind of reminiscing before, taking the plane into the water or whatever. But it is wild. Like you said, they just kind of decided, we're done. We can't find anything. It was such a wide search area and then I don't know, dude, this is such a good conspiracy theory because it's so ambiguous. I don't think nobody really knows what happened. Because there's I can't even tell you what the most logical explanation is. There's so many different theories, whether they ran out of gas or the terrorism, the plane, this plane just fucking vanished out of thin air. I'm not smart enough to tell you what happened, but I can tell you this Netflix documentary is going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a documentary kind of junkie. I as much as I like entertaining television and stuff, I do like to feed my brain with shit. And this seems like the perfect thing. It's not too long too. It's only 3 episodes. I love that Netflix is doing more of these kinds of 2 and 3 part docuseries that are short. You can get in and out of a topic. We watched the one on the Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh a month or two ago, and it was great. It was great to revisit it. I grew up in that when that story happened. So yeah, I'm all in on this. I don't know if who knows? There may be enough new information in this for us to revisit it as a topic. I feel like from the perspective of the things that we talk about here on Edging the Truth and the Two Steps show, we're constantly in a state of what can we talk about that's present, that's current. And there's always eternal conspiracy theories and big topics like Bigfoot and UFOs that'll never go away. But when things are current and relevant to now, I always feel like, boy, if we can have any kind of part in continuing the conversation, the better.
Absolutely. I think what I hope to see most on the show, I want to hear from the family members, the friends of people that were on that flight and what they have to say about it. Obviously, because, they would the ones that would be at the forefront of, or at least you would hope of trying to get any answers they can from the Malaysian government, who their hands are not fucking clean in this either. They very well could have done this too.
Yes.
And like I said, it felt like such a large search area and so much ground they had to cover. After not really finding much, I can understand how that would get frustrating and to a point where you're just like, well, I don't know what else to do. But just something of that magnitude, it just doesn't sit right with me, where one day they're just kind of like, all right, we're done with this. You know what I mean? And cold cases happen all the time, and shit just doesn't get found out for years and years and years. But
it's kind of like that balloon debris.
I'm looking forward to this documentary. I think that's I don't know what else I can say besides I want to watch this thing.
I do too, but it just occurred to me that the calling off of the search for the balloon debris is kind of the same thing. The U.S. government just sort of went, "Hey, we're just gonna stop looking. It's cool. Everything's fine. We're just nothing to see here."
Don't you call me Brian, but aliens? Is MH370? Is this extraterrestrial? Holy
that was
shit.
one of the
it's all
theories
together,
we didn't really
folks.
discuss.
Yeah, that's another theory too. Or like a wormhole or a fucking black hole or like some type of time breach or some shit like that. Like
some Bermuda Triangle type stuff. Yeah.
Dude, Bermuda Triangle. We could get fucking really out there. I think we do. I think a great idea, Red, is we watch all three and do a review of the doc and fucking dive back into it. Like, I think there'd be a great, secondary, not secondary, but follow-up episode.
Yeah, we call it review
later or whatever.
Yeah. No, we could say it's MH370 Revisited is a great show topic, because there is, at least I'm hoping, there's a reason to revisit it as a topic. And I would be surprised if Netflix made a series about this without there being new information. I mean, that's one of the things that documentaries, at least of this era, seem to do a lot. A documentary will come out about a topic that we think we know everything about, and then we realize in the documentary there's all these things we didn't know. I love that, and this feels like it could be that kind of thing. If it's 3 1-hour episodes or so, I mean, that's a lot of information. We watched probably, I don't know. I mean, I remember watching a lot of CNN Australia. Their coverage of this was fascinating. They had half-hour roundtables and discussions on their programming that was just so in depth, so neutral to the conspiracy blah 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 part. Like it was industry experts, it was pilots and plane technicians and things like that of putting the story together from as most logical place as possible. So I did appreciate that, but I do, the conspiracy theory part of it is crazy, because as you said, the government is definitely complicit in why we don't have answers. So if that's true, then what else is true? The door's open just a crack. If it's
Right.
open
I
a
mean,
crack, then it could be open.
Absolutely. We're going to fucking jam our foot in there and fucking kick that door open and figure out what the hell is going on. I mean, the bonus of watching CNN Australia is a bunch of fucking awesome accents. Good eye, mate. As dumb as that was. Please don't cancel me, Australia. Dude, Australian women, by the way, maybe like the hottest women in the world.
It's true. I for some reason there's something about the water there, I think.
Something in the water, mate. Oh god, that was terrible. I'm gonna stop doing that before.
We're clipping both of those.
Yeah, of course we are. Red, I don't know. We got any more on this? Any closing thoughts?
No, I
we
think
get out of here?
man, this has been this is a perfect, nice little 20-minute episode of these two topics. Again, the links for both of these articles that we showed are in our Discord. They're in the description for this video. You can read these articles for yourself and judge for yourself. We want you to go look. Please go. We're not affiliated with Netflix, but check out that Netflix documentary if that airline flight is of any interest to you. And be sure to go check out our episode about it. And tell us where we got it wrong after you've watched the documentary. I just watched the Netflix documentary. You guys were all wrong. We'd love to hear that too. You can always reach us at 917-979-6071. That is our voicemail. You can tell us anything you want. You can tell us a story. You can tell us your opinion on a story that we told. You can tell us your opinion on us. If you're like, man, that bald guy with the glasses, he's got to go. Well, we'll listen, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, if he goes, the show goes, ladies and gentlemen. So it's really non-negotiable. As a reminder, like I did at the beginning of the episode, please, if you're watching us on YouTube, we really appreciate it. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Like us. Subscribe, turn the notifications on, comment, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend. We're trying to go viral in 2023. We're trying to go big in this motherfucker, all right? Whether it's 2 steps from the edge or edging the truth, we're going to be here. We're going to be giving you weekly content. We're going to be throwing out wild theories. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be laughing with each other and hopefully entertaining the fuck out of you. If you like what we're doing, give us a follow on all media at Edging the Truth, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. We're trying to go big there. Edgingthetruth.com, edgingthetruth.com, episodes, merch, social media, bios, anything Edging the Truth. It is all there. You can listen and watch the episodes right there. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier. Another great episode. Red shouted out the voicemail already. He read my mind because I was going to kick it to him to do that. I never remember it until it's right in front of my face because I'm a big, dumb idiot. Anyway, this has been 2 steps from the edge. I'm Fudge. That's Red. You guys, you stay classy, San Diego.
Visit edgingthetruth.com for more information and links to all our social media and podcast directories.